Welcome to Peter and Roughie's football show. Our guest last night was Alex Rae. We were halfway through his career and boy, it was a roller coaster then. And we're on to what I would call the really fast and good stuff now, because if Sunderland in the first year was a waste of time, it was because you felt you needed help. What was happening to you?
Oh no, I was just losing the plot. I was drinking on a regular basis. It was a hamper and everything, and over the first season in the Premiership was a washout. I think we get relegated in 41 points from the English Premiership,
which is unusual, actually.
I think it was one of the highest. There was a bit of a body blow. At that point, I thought I was on my move. I'd done a medical for agreed terms and things with Crystal Palace, and it just petered out. I'm not sure whether they get wind of the lifestyle or not, but I went back to Sunderland, and we had a good year that year. I think we finished on 91 points in the year after we get relegated.
Who was the manager?
That was Peter Reid from start to finish, and it was funny because I was with him a couple of weeks ago. We'd done a question and answer at one of the supporters branches, and we're just thinking, you know, 91 points. Any other year would have got automatic promotion.
Yeah.
And then that led to the 4-4 Wembley game. Yeah, Mickey Gray missed a penalty. I still don't forgive him now. It was a good wee bonus at the end of that, Roughie.
But see how you're saying that you had the feeling that clubs weren't prepared to take a chance on you because of your off-the-field stuff. Surely your on-the-field stuff was still top-notch. You know, well, we keep seeing all these big stars and people just put to the side, okay, he's got a wee bit thingy here, but look what he's doing on the park. Yeah,
but the thing is, like I said to you, 91 points in the Championship, you're still playing your part in that. I think I played something like 30 games in the bounds in the Championship. Now, if you're talking about 91, if you imagine now, you look at a Norwich as an example, you know, whoever won automatic promotion, I can't even think. So you look at the teams there and the kind of adulation they're getting. I would have had like double figures for Sunderland, 8 or 10 goals or something most seasons. 91 points, so I would have been doing okay. And we went to Bournemouth. Reedy liked to take his teams away to Bournemouth, Mottram Hall for 3 or 4 days, a little R&A, as they say.
Yes.
And he encouraged it. It was part of the culture at Sunderland. We used to go and we'd play hard and drink hard. And I get sent off it was about the 3 or 4 games before the playoffs. He said to me, "You're not playing for me again. You've let us down." And that was it. I played all 8 games to get them into that position. And I thought, here we go again, man. This, you know, I couldn't believe that. And I managed to come on in the playoff final, but I thought that was me finished with Reedy, because Reedy was ruthless in terms of managers, didn't he?
But surely he was the type of manager. I mean, I remember him as a player. Surely you epitomised everything that he was about.
No, I don't think. I don't think he was quite pleased with the playing side, Peter. But it's just the off the field thing. It comes a point, say enough's enough, and then obviously I'd taken on to that game against Charlton. Funny enough, it was against Charlton down at the Valley, and I always got a lot of grief after the Charlton fans because of the connection with Millwall. And anyway, we got to that playoff final. But it was interesting. Big Niall Quinn done a brilliant speech after that 4-4 game. He says, "We're really well placed. We've got all this personnel. We can go again and go, you know, really kick on." And then that's the season where I went. I says, "I've had enough. I need to try and get on top of this," because, as I said to you, it was hampering my career. And it's only hindsight, because when you're at it, you think, wait a minute, I'm playing 30 games here and he's saying I'm a problem and things, because you're not really willing to address any of it. You think you're justifying it because you're playing, you're scoring goals, you're playing at a good level.
What age were you?
25, 26 at that stage. So no, it's not true. No, 28 maybe, 29. Yeah. See, I told you I was a wee bit worse for wear.
Yeah, lost 2 years.
Yes, well, it was. I would have been about 27, 28, running about the playoff stages.
Yeah, and with regards to the team, when you eventually, you know, you're playing in the top flight football, did you feel as if, you know, there was players there that maybe had got the move, that you were playing against them and you thought, I'm well better than you?
Oh no, across the board, you obviously, and you even see it now. Players are currently playing. They'll see somebody get moving, going, what's that all about, and things. But the season after the season where a seat helped, we broke the record of the Championship at that time. It was 105 points, which was just ridiculous. We ran away with the league, and Kevin Phillips and Quinn were on fire. We had Lee Clark at that time as well. We had some good players, and it was a terrific time for the club because they just moved into the new stadium. We were getting sell-out crowds, 45,000 things. It was a remarkable time to play at the club, and it was brilliant. I absolutely loved every minute of that period. After I'd seeked help, my career went through the roof. In terms of, normally I was 29, so you think a year or two and you're starting to peter down. But it didn't work that way. I went through the roof because we obviously won promotion with 105 points. We went to Chelsea, the opening game of the season. You look at me, I remember this, Peter. I'm in the cuckoo's nest. About 6 months before this, we were, you know, in the Priory. Then all of a sudden I'm on the pitch with 4 World Cup winners. And I'm thinking, oh aye, here we go. And I had a new lease of life. I always had energy and legs and enthusiasm. And we get battered 4-0 that day.
I love the way you did that. You had me thinking, and I just bossed the midfield.
But you know the thing is, it was as I said, Deschamps, Leboeuf, Petit, and Desailly, Leboeuf, Petit, and that was 4 in it. That's the 4 of them.
Deschamps. Desailly,
that was him, yeah.
Leboeuf.
Yeah, there was 4 of them, and it was great. And it was a great lesson for us at that time because we'd run away with the league and we were a really free-flowing team. And we thought when we come to the big teams, we just need to shore it up a little bit. We can't be expansive, and it was a great. And that season was absolutely remarkable because it was the highest finish that Sunderland had had in 50 years.
Yeah. Where did you finish?
7th. We just missed it in Europe. But do you know one of the things? This is really interesting. We had Kevin Ball, who was he was Mr. Sunderland, and with Quinny, and we thought we're trying to get the game back to money, we're trying to get the bonus money up, and this was unbelievable. So that was Big Quinny. He's away to meet Bob Murray. So Bolly's jumped up in the dressing room and I'll be right, I should be in there, I'm the captain, right? And we're all like, oh, there's going to be trouble when he gets back, he better get something good. So anyway, we were all sitting in anticipation. I'm thinking, Quinny, you better come back with something good because I can see Bolly attacking him. We Kevin Ball was a beast there, man. Next minute, Quinny walked in, the big sodden face. He went, it's no good, boys, no good. Bolly's went, I told you. We still went in and tag teamed the chairman and get. So he says, so right, what's the punchline? And he looked at us and he went, I've got, now this is gospel. He went, I've got his £5 a win. We were going, aye, very good, very good. He went, no, £5 a win. And we were all going, what? And at that time, it was more than my basic wage. Right? Wow. Seriously, it was more than my basic wage, and I'm thinking, and I'm not joking, as you know, Peter, at 5s, I was booting my own teammates, I was volleying everybody. But do you know what the master plan was with the chairman and Quinny, what they come up with, which was brilliant? £2.5 grand there was getting kept aside in case we get relegated. Do you know what I mean? So it just makes you try that a little bit harder. Yeah. And see, when you're talking about creating a really good environment within a dressing room, every time we got a win, we would all put 200 quid cash in the Monday morning, and there was we would give the kit man, a couple of the physios who were earning great money, the masseurs. So they guys were earning more money because it was getting carved up between 5 of them. So they were maybe getting 20, it was 4 grand and maybe 800 quid a man, and they were rubbing the hairs off your leg, roughly, you know what I mean, just to try and get you fit. And it was great. But part of the deal that I'd re-signed at that time, just because they wanted to say we can't give him all the money, was if you play 19 league games, which is 50%, you get a bonus, and then it will give you a loyalty. But so everything was incentivised. So what I'm saying is, Peter, and I'll never forget, after, because Quinny had a bad knee, he'd done a cruciate, and he had a similar one. I would imagine his bonuses were slightly more than mine. Yeah. But he, we were doing the warm-up, and we played 19 consecutive
games. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, he played 19 consecutive games. That's Quinny.
Quinny.
So anyway, we what do you call it? So we were doing 19 games, right? This is remarkable. And me and him were warming up. And I think this is English Premiership, and we're warming up. And there was none of this fitness coach stuff. We're running across and that. And the twos were singing, "We're in the money," because we got a large bonus because we'd hit 19 league games. But it was on scent, and honestly, it made me. Didn't need the incentive to be hungry, but just to kind of get on the front foot and get back on my feet. It was a brilliant thing that Bob done, and I'm grateful he'd done that for us.
Yeah, and with that in mind, I think, you know, people knock Jim McLean and the Dundee United, but you know, a lot of clubs, Roughie would get more out of players. You know, that incentive. I mean, I'm not saying, you know, people will say, "Oh, wait a minute, money's the root of all evil," but you know, rather than you're destined for your huge wage. that wee incentive.
I mean, Alex been there, you know. I mean, way back then the money wasn't great, so the incentive was what you got, your wee extra bonus, that's what you thrive to get.
Well, listen, we're going to talk about Wolves and a player that he didn't fancy playing with, but it all worked out well in the end. And we'll also talk about that special day in 2005. He didn't think he was going to win a league winners medal, but in the end, he did. Welcome back to Peter and Roughie's Football Show. I'm delighted that on the couch is Alex Rae. Of course, a combative midfielder, exactly what you want when you've got a team that you're looking for a winner. You're looking for somebody to fight, and it doesn't get any better than your man on my right-hand side, Roughie.
No, you're right. Every club needs somebody that is going to go about and do the wee bit of nasty stuff, and when you've got somebody like that in your team, it takes the pressure off the boys who want to play. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying Alex didn't play, but I mean, you know what I mean. You know, you get the
that's
flair
interesting,
sort of
Peter.
players,
that's interesting, because I used to get the Sunday Mail on a Sunday, and you know, you get the passing with scores and all that. I used to be in the top 5 every week. Well, that's interesting. The Opta stats.
Well, can I just say something to you? And I was actually just about to boot him out into left field. But the point is this: you know, whereas Roughie and I are talking about it, and you know, you look for midfielders who are combative, which you were, but over and above that, you know, that's not just what the game's about. You've got to be able to play, you've got to be able to pass, and in that Sunderland team, you know, if you're supplying from the midfield, look who you're supplying to. I thought Quinny was a great player, and Kevin Phillips was sensational. But
we also had a couple of good wingers as well. Alan Johnson for a period there, and we had Mike Summerby's boy, Nicky, and he had the second most deliveries to Beckham. In these seasons, he didn't have to beat the man. He used to just get a yard and wrap it round the face, which was terrible for a keeper. Or if the defender went on that side to block the one round the face, he used to just stand it up for Quinny and he'd just drop it down to Kevin.
What about Wolves? How did that all come about?
Well, it's interesting because the season we'd finished 7th. I got injured the last couple of games and had a terrific season. And you know, Brian, who does the captain's armband, we were down and we were all going to Marbella. Reedy used to let us take us to Marbella for 3 or 4 days at the end of the season, and we're sitting around chewing the fat about the season and things. And Adrian Heath, who was assistant manager, says to me, "What a season you've had. Probably if you didn't get injured the last few games, I would have had you probably around about the player of the season." And I thought, oh, lovely job there. That's me secured for next year. And it took a bit longer for me to get back. I think it was maybe the beginning of September before I got back. It was one of the innocuous ones that just kind of kept dragging on. And then I got a phone call to say that, you know, I played a few games at that period, and then I was in the team again, and I thought, lovely. And then he says, well, listen, we're selling you to Wolves, which was just bizarre. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, because I was really settled in the North East. I had a lovely house overlooking the cathedral. I used to have my big Alsatian walking through the town centre.
Could you not knock him back and say, no, I'm not moving?
Well, part of the thing is, Peter, I told you it was incentive related. My wage, Wolves were going to give me more up front. And it gave you that bit of security. It was a 3-year contract. I think I was 31. I'm thinking 3-year contract at this age. You know, it was a no-brainer. The only downside was that I had to get back down to the Championship. And but anyway, it gave me about 3-year security, and I had to uproot again, as you know. But if you take Millwall, Sunderland, and Wolves, I was only 3 clubs in England over a 14-year period. As I said earlier, I was really loyal. I see out my terms there, but it was good at Wolves. I really took to him. I think one of the saving graces for myself was, and Roughie's right, see in terms of, because of your nature and you put your foot in, and I always pitched him a few goals. I think it's important for me to get that in, Roughie. If we're doing a wee montage, I think I got about 130 odd goals, which is surprising, you know, because for a wee dog with no ability, it's
absolutely. Let's get back to him right away. I'll show him the videos. You know, Wolves is one thing, and you played alongside Paul Ince. You know, it was a good side as well. I don't want to miss out and don't want to run out of time in the programme on the basis that, you know, even in the twilight of your career, after, you know, really good performances at Wolves, at Molineux, suddenly, you know, you've got a chance to move back to Rangers.
Well, the thing is, and we'll try and fast forward this. See, in the January, Graham Souness tried to tap me up right outside the Wolves dressing room door. Right outside, it was January the 3rd. He says, we're going to put a bid in for you. So I was like, this is brilliant. And because it was like all these years that he'd let me go, 17 years down the line. They wanted to sign us, and anyway, 6 weeks after that, Wolves won for having it because they obviously wanted to stay in the league. I was the top scorer at that point. I'd scored 8 goals up until Christmas, and I was flying. And then I went and signed a pre-contract with Rangers. So to come back at 34 and a 2-year contract, I thought I'd win the lottery.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean that. Did you feel when you were coming back? I mean, I know Sir David Murray was slightly surprised at what he was getting, because you turned out to be far better than maybe what he thought.
Well, what happened was we played Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and we were 2-2 after about an hour, and me and Ince were playing against, I think it was I can't think who the wee guy was in the middle of the park. The wee spoiler, it was at Real Madrid.
Makalele?
Makalele, now they were playing. And anyway, so we ended up playing against these guys at top draw. I had a brilliant game, and then the deal was done straight after that.
Yeah. What was it like going back this time, as you were going to be, one of the, I'm not saying the ultimate top dog, but you were there on merit?
Oh no, it was just tremendous. It was just an opportunity to come back. Rangers hadn't beat Celtic on the previous season, so it was so important that we had to try and turn the tide. And we went to Parkhead, and I think Alan Thompson scored in the first Old Firm game of the season. I tore my calf in the second minute, and and this is gospel. I had a 2-inch tear in my calf in the second minute and played the 90 minutes.
Wow.
I wasn't for coming off. I just wasn't for coming off, and I was just charging about. I think I was out for 10 weeks, and then I come back for 2 Old Firm back-to-back fixtures.
See how you're saying Graham brought you back. Do you think Graham saw a lot of himself in you?
No. He tried to sign us for Blackburn.
He tried to sign
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But do you think he saw the same kind of?
See, knowing what I know now, is he's probably tried to destable Wolves for a small fee. And because as I said to you, I was a top scorer at that time. I think I was probably there. Plus, it would maybe added a little bit of bite to his midfield.
Yeah. Rangers, what was so special about it?
Just coming back to where I consider us home. I'd supported the club in the Eastern Closure, and obviously getting the opportunity to come back. I'd never sampled an Old Firm game, and it was just the right time. I was 34, coming back to my home.
I mean, look at this photograph. I mean, look at the joy in your face. I mean, I can remember the day. I can remember the helicopter changing direction, and Easter Road. What was it like that day?
It was remarkable because I told you the story. I sent my wife to New York and all that to get out of Dodge because I thought it was going to be a nightmare to live with that night. And it was just remarkable. I actually broke down in the tunnel. They were dancing like that in the dressing room. I just got overwhelmed. I thought I need to go. She was over, my missus was over in America, and I just went down in my hunkers against the wall, and I couldn't get reception. I kept phoning, and anyway, so I get her, and I think she was in Bloomingdale's, and she goes out to the stairwell because the music's batting through the store, and she's going, I should have been there. I'm going, I know. Let's can I carry on? And anyway, I hear her speaking to someone. And I says, I Mick, who's she talking to in New York? It turns out it was Mick McCarthy in Bloomingdale's with his wife Fiona. And she says, are you everything okay, Linda? You okay? And she says, I was delighted, Alex won the league. I mean, oh, don't tell me that, I'll be great. So it was brilliant. So I just says, tell him I wish him all the best. I know it's been a long road for him, and he was a player and my manager years before that.
It must have been fantastic. I mean, it's the stuff that dreams are made of. You finish off your career, you've got a League and Cup double. That's right.
No, and then obviously played a small part in the final. But one of the highlights of that season was captaining at Hampden for the semi-final against Dundee United. That was my first and only. I was a vice captain of the club, just because I was the oldest, I think. But to walk them out at Hampden and I think we won 7-1. It was a rout. It was funny because Ian McCall says, we were playing fives the other day with him, and he says, we get battered with Rangers. I went, I know, I capped him that day. Have that.
Yeah, just before we finish and before we run out of time, you for me, were a player who would give your all, and there was much more to you than the combative element that I've mentioned. Was there a player that you enjoyed playing with, that you loved, you thought, I like him?
In terms of what, just his pure desire?
No,
Kevin Phillips was off the scale. Teddy Sheringham, I know you said one, but they two in particular were phenomenal. The technically most gifted player was Shota Arveladze. He was technically fantastic, left, right. I think he scored 300 odd goals in his career as well, so he was technically brilliant.
Yeah, I've got to ask you, you've still got a lot of the. You've got a lot of the shirts. You know, Roughie gets a bit blasé, puts them in a bin bag, sticks them up in the loft. You've got them. You've got the medals, and they'll always be treasured.
Oh no, without a doubt. I've managed to secure 3 medals, 2 championships, 1 with Rangers, 1 with Sunderland, and 1 with the League Cup. I'll just pass them on to my kids in the order they were won.
Yeah, Alex Rae, it was good enough for me to sit here and enjoy the stories. Absolutely magnificent. Just chatting about your overall career, and certainly an inspiration to more than a few. When you get a knockback, Roughie, you can bounce back. Yeah,
you certainly can. There's a lot of people out there, you know, haven't bounced back, but all credit to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't ever just call him a combative player. There's much more to his game than that. He can pass the ball as well. Just doesn't like losing, and he lets you know about it if he does. Alex Rae, our guest on the couch here. Hopefully you've enjoyed his tales. We've certainly enjoyed them. There's lots more to come throughout the summer when you get your football fix on Peter and Roughie's Football Show on STV Edinburgh and STV Glasgow.